Hey guys, I don't even know what part this is now. I'm probably gonna go. Basically, this is the control cabinet. Well, not the control cabinet, just the button box. I'll be on top of the control cabinet. And I think I'm gonna call this like part 2.2. And then all the updates will just be regular intermittent updates because I just bought more parts, bought a good sized contactor. You'll see what that is when it comes in. But this is an old actual air tank container. Don't know if there we go. It's an old air tank container. See how it just needs cleaned up. Where the tanks used to sit right in the middle, and that was the hose out. And I was going to use this for a solar controller box for different contactors, for different inverters, and everything else. But that ended up changing because I had battery voltage or battery power in, battery power out, solar power coming out, the inverter out, and the generator out, and then the power coming into the inverter. So when it's charging the batteries or whatever. But I'm actually going to change that. So I'm going to sand it down because it's got some rust popping up everywhere. And so I'm going to sand it all down, and we're going to put a new paint job on it and also fix that little gouge in there. Well, not completely fix it, but actually paint it over. So yeah, that's the project right now, is sanding this all the way down and, well, eventually repainting it. So this will give me something to do until the parts come in, because the parts right now are scheduled to come in anywhere between July 13th and July 27th is anywhere from the arrival time, because I ordered them straight from the factory to save me about 80% of what it was going to cost me for 5 buttons. So it's not quite 80%, but for 5 buttons, I could order them for $80 or $8 for five. Or if I go through a retailer, it was $10 for one button. So saved me a lot of money. But anyways, I'm going to start sanding on this and hopefully get this all cleared down as much as I can, because it's not going to be quite perfect, because there's a lot of intricate details I'll have to go through by hand on a lot of things, like the latches, because they're all welded. But anyways, I'm going to start on that, and I'll give you some updates on when I get the lid done or whatever. So be back with you later. Alright guys, here's the box all sanded down and with a metal primer on it, because I think this thing was originally powder coated, so I just want this to last. So it's just a metal primer that's on there, and then I'm going to paint it matte black, or not matte black, I'm going to go gloss black on it. I still have the bottom side to do, but I'm letting these sides dry real quick before I hit the bottom, just so I can move it, not get paint all over myself. Already getting some. But yeah, so every single side is done. Put about 2 hours worth of sanding on it in total. But see my not so amazing paint job. Once it dries, it should be nice and even. But yeah, that's the progress so far on the box. There's nothing much I can do about that hole in the top. That was just there, so I may use it for something or just pretend it doesn't exist. I haven't decided yet. But yeah, there's the progress on it. I'll check back in once I get the gloss black on there. So see you in a minute. Alright guys, here's the box now all painted. I'm thinking about putting a clear primer or a clear lacquer over it just to protect it a little bit more. But I'll see how it feels once it fully dries, because it's still a little tacky. But this is the box. Yeah, if I didn't say it before, I don't remember. This has been taking all day to paint this and get it ready. Um, but this was actually used to hold a couple air tanks on a truck. So that's what that hole was for. But I decided to use this and repaint it, because I repainted it because it had a little bit of rust popping everywhere. So I sanded it down, cleaned it up, and I chose to use this because it's my biggest box that I have for all the buttons. Gives me some room for future use, add-ons, whatever. But besides that, it's just generally a nice box. So I don't remember. There's still measuring tape. Let's see. Can't really remember off the top of my head how big this thing is. Oh, 25 inches tall. It's more like 24 because it's got a good sized lip on each side. About 14 inches wide. So 25 by 14 by about 8.5. So it's a pretty good sized box. Sorry, I'm walking everywhere around the garage. But yeah, it's a pretty good sized box, and so the latch is there. The reason I wanted to use it also is because it has the entire door opens up on it. Yeah, it's still a little tacky. I'm not going to touch it that much, but that entire door hinges open. Hinges are on this side, and so it's actually quite difficult to tell a little bit, but basically I wanted to mount that so the latches were down towards the bottom, and it would hinge upwards or the other way, depends on how it mounts easily. Basically just so it's easier to gain access to it if I need to add things, because I probably will. Like, one of the ideas I wanted to add to it was a 3-phase VFD, just so I could blow up 3-phase motors better and have a lot more power behind it. So that's one thing I want to add. There's probably other suggestions that I could add to it. So basically it has enough room. I'll have a couple inches on the other side, just add stuff to it. But yeah, that's the box all done and dusted. So if I want to, I can add plenty of stuff to it. I can change things around. There's still a lot I can do with this box, because this is just the button box that sits on top of the control cabinet. The control cabinet itself is basically a metal filing cabinet that I chose. It's I think 40 inches wide, 30 something inches tall, and about 24 inches deep. So something around there. And so it'll give me plenty of room for all the relays, accessories, because I got to build a secondary relay control board, because I built that one. That only gives me general functionality. There's some other functions I need to add and incorporate into it. So I got to build another one. I do not have trunking, so I'll just zip tie everything into a nice, neat bundle of whatever I need to do. So all the parts are still scheduled to be in on time. Some of them are going to be coming in on July 1st. Some of them on, I think, some are supposed to be here on the 27th, so tomorrow, June 27th, and some are going to be here June 29th. 29th of June is also the other dates, and then everything else is July 13th to the 27th from all the stuff I ordered straight from the factory. So, yep, that's the general update, and that's the box done. I'm just trying to get us all the things in between that I got to do done. So, yep, that's it. Enough of rambling about on anything. This is actually going to be a fairly long series, just because there's a lot of parts that are going into this, and it's a very beefy power supply. I actually overrated this by a factor of, I think I overrated this by about 1,000% of what I was originally planning on doing. I went 1,000% over that, just to give you an idea of how much larger this thing is than what I was originally planning on. But yeah, that's the general idea of what everything's doing, how everything's looking for timeline-wise. Probably if I have enough packages on July 1st, I'll do a video on that day of unboxing all that. Then when all the other packages come in, there'll be another unboxing. So yeah, that's that, and hope you all stay tuned and enjoy the finishing of this series, because I know the first video was 2 years ago, and now all these are coming out quick succession, but work started picking up. I'm making enough money to actually support this project, because I've already spent nearly 800, or no, in total, counting on what I did 2 years ago, I've broken $1,000. I'm about $1,100 into this project, which is still really cheap for all the parts that I'm actually getting for it. But yep, that's enough rambling. That's the general idea of what's going on with this project. So hope you guys stay tuned and keep watching this, because this is going to be fun. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.